What's up, guys? Nate Jackson here, Guerilla Sports. June 4th, 2024. Just got back from Broncos OTA's practice. June 4th. Why does that date ring a bell? It's my birthday. It's my birthday. No big deal. Don't make a big deal about it. You can send me presents if you want. Don't make a big deal. We're talking about the Broncos here. What is an OTA anyway? It's all organized team activity. Basically, it's a mini camp. What's the difference? Mini camps are mandatory. That means if you don't come, you can get fined for it. Now, next week are mini camps. That means it's mandatory. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, media is going to be there. And why is it significant that you can get fined for not being there next week? Well, that's Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton still isn't there. He hasn't been there for the last 3 weeks. He wants more money, justifiably so. He put up 10 touchdowns last year in a pretty anemic offensive season for the Broncos. He was a bright spot, right? But how does the team look at him? Are they going to give him the more money he deserves? Sean Payton was asked about Courtland Sutton today, and he reiterated his positive comments on Courtland Sutton. He loves Courtland. Loves his work ethic, loves the fact that he has asked for the ball, he's gotten the ball, and he's caught that ball. A lot of receivers say, I want the ball, throw me the ball in the end zone. When we're in the red zone, give it to me. Not everyone can get that ball. Courtland Sutton got it thrown to him last year, and he delivered. Quite a few circus catches for Courtland Sutton last year. You just wonder how the front office is looking at his demand or his ask for more money. But he's proven it. And the coaches, especially Sean Payton, today talking about how much he respects Courtland Sutton as a leader, how hard he's worked, and how much he's proven that he deserves the ball that he's asking for. Those quarterbacks out there today, man, it was a little bit rough. Why? Because it was windy. Those indoor sports don't have to deal with the wind, but football does. And the wind was coming 10, 15 miles an hour today, which affected the passes from the quarterbacks. Bo Nix didn't have an awesome day, guys. Jarrett Stidham didn't have an awesome day. Zach Wilson didn't have an awesome day. There was a lot of balls on the ground, underthrown deep balls. A lot of times, if you don't get your lower body into the ball and have solid technique on a deep throw, that wind will catch the ball and flow it out of bounds, or it won't come nose down. As a wide receiver, you're running down the field, you turn your head, you want the ball coming nose down. If that ball never turns over and it's coming like this, it's a lot harder to catch. You're not used to it. Maybe it's a duck, and it might be a nice throw as far as placement, but it's not a friendly ball to catch, and that results in an incompletion. Little stuff like that you don't really see as a fan. You think, oh, it hit him in the hands. Well, it might have hit him in the hands, but it hit him on the fat side of the ball, falling down at a weird angle. So you got to be able to throw in the wind. You never know what the weather is going to be like, and those guys are going to go in and watch film today and see that, and they're going to have to come back better tomorrow. Now, you never know what it's going to be windy. Sean Payton was asked about Bo Nix and his similarities with Drew Brees. Drew Brees, a player who started off his career in San Diego, ended up in New Orleans with Sean Payton. Sean Payton's first year ever in New Orleans. And that year, Sean Payton won Coach of the Year in the NFL, and Drew Brees was a finalist for MVP. He lost out to LaDainian Tomlinson, who had a crazy year. But Drew Brees and Sean Payton was a marriage made in heaven. And they put up crazy numbers for the rest of Drew Brees' career. They won a Super Bowl. So obviously, Sean Payton wants to duplicate that, right? So what similarities does Bo Nix have to Drew Brees? Well, he said their maturity, he said their experience, and he said the accuracy. Accuracy is a huge part of playing quarterback in the NFL. I think you guys have heard this. The windows are a lot smaller. Open in the NFL is me having one step on the guy who's covering me. That's it, one step. You got to be able to fit that in there. Quick story about Sean Payton and Drew Brees. 2009, I was out of the NFL. I had been cut by the Denver Broncos, but I was trying to get back in. So I was having workouts. I had a workout in Philly. I had a workout in Cleveland. And I also had a workout in New Orleans. At the very end of training camp, they had an injury to their second string tight end. And they use a lot of two tight end sets. So they needed a guy who could come in and play right away. 4 of us had that workout. And whereas other workouts, the head coach wasn't out there, the starting quarterback wasn't out there, it was just some staffer throwing us the ball and some scouts. This one was Sean Payton and Drew Brees out there running us through the workout. They had a very specific idea in mind of what they wanted to see us do. Sean Payton was telling us what routes to run, and Drew Brees was throwing us those balls. Well, we ran a seam route, which is a tight end running right up the seam. It's pretty much a straight route based on coverage. Sometimes you bend it in, but they had us run the seam 4 different ways and had Drew Brees place the ball in 4 different spots. That's how accurate he was, and that's how much Sean Payton and his system relies on accuracy to throw a receiver open, okay? So he wants a quarterback with that type of accuracy, and that's what he's looking for in all 3 of these guys, not just Bo Nix. Who's going to be the most accurate quarterback out there? Time will tell. How much do these minicamp practices matter? That's what a lot of the media folks are asking Sean Payton. Well, they matter some, but they don't matter that much. The point is that you're consistent day in and day out. You learn the system, and then when you really start playing with the pads and have an opportunity to prove yourself, that's when you really shine. But this stuff does matter. It absolutely does matter, especially in the passing game. The timing and the rhythm of the passing game can be established in minicamps when there are no pads, when there are no muddled up pockets with big fat dudes falling at your feet. They don't have pads on, so they're not hitting each other really. So they're actually creating a pretty clean pocket. And as a quarterback, you have the opportunity to get that ball out of your hands. One thing I do like about Bo Nix is he doesn't force the ball into places he doesn't think it will fit. Sometimes young quarterbacks have a tendency to do that, interception. House call the other way. Zach Wilson has fallen prey to that. He's had quite a lot of mistakes out there. Bo Nix seems to not have the proclivity to make those same mistakes. Finally, I'll talk about, what Sean Payton and others call the glue guys of the team. I know we spent a lot of time talking about Courtland Sutton and talking about the quarterbacks, but that's 1 + 3. That's 4 guys on a roster of 90 right now, and there's 53 dudes in a locker room. That's the nucleus that matters. The dudes in that locker room, and a lot of them we'll never know as fans. There's names we don't really know, or faces we don't know, or voices we don't know. But in the locker room, they're very important to the chemistry, the cohesiveness of the team. He talked about guys like Jaleel McLaughlin, who had to steal first base to get into the league, undrafted. Guys like Malcolm Roach, Michael Burton, consistent players who know their worth, who cherish the opportunities that they've had to play in the league, and now are going to do everything it takes to stay there. They're smart, they're reliable, they're good teammates. One thing about glue guys, and this is important to think about when you're trying to build a new team, build a new culture. Sean Payton said this: when we're talking about a player upstairs, we think about how the guys downstairs in the locker room are going to feel about us bringing this guy in to their family. That stuff matters. Chemistry is more important than you guys think. It's not just about the laser rocket right arm of number 10, Bo Nix. That matters, but Bo Nix's success is going to be based on all these other dudes and how comfortable he feels in this system with these guys, not just on the field, but off as brothers working towards the same goal. And that goal, whether or not you believe it, is a Super Bowl. Do they talk about it? I don't know. But if you make the playoffs, anything can happen, and that's what these Broncos are going for. Next week, mandatory minicamp. We'll see if Courtland Sutton's there. I'm Nate Jackson, Guerilla Sports. Till next time, happy birthday to me.